So another way it's used?
Yeah, people use them to build their newsletters. I use it to build my newsletter. My primary goal is to get them to purchase a product, but if they don't purchase right away, then they're still on my newsletter list. So.
Yep. And what we're going to focus on.
And then, for lead generation. And it's awesome. I mean, you can do it online. You have the full information on them. So if you want to do like a direct mail campaign as well, you can hit them offline. And that's like a whole nother program.
Supercharging results.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So, just to give you a sense of who's playing in the co-registration space, I thought you might recognize a couple of these logos. And it really is a very credible place to be in terms of doing those three things that we had on the previous slide. So big mega players, in fact, as Brock mentioned, that's really was their playground in the early days of co-registration, was the mega players spending millions of dollars a month to increase brand awareness and product visibility.
And then your company right smack in the middle of it. So it's a great brand awareness for yourself as well.
So now we're getting into the pipeline profit system and how it works. And so there are a couple of objectives we have for the system itself that really is focused on.
Right. There's a couple different things that basically we're going to go over, like how to find the best co-registration lead sources. If you go on like Google right now and do a search for it, you'll probably find hundreds of companies that offer it. And there's really only like 3 or 4 of them that I use. And mainly it's because of these little tricky things that they do that they don't tell you about that isn't going to get it to convert. And so there's only a couple of them that I actually use, and I'll kind of go through some of the guidelines that I look for and the questions that I ask them to make sure that I'm going to get an honest record or good leads out of it.
I have a confession to make.
Go for it.
I wasted $1,500 on my first try co-reg before we spoke.
Right. I wasted about $500,000.
All right, I feel much better now. Okay, so what the other part of the system is the big one, because we talk about traffic conversion. So how do you convert those leads? And there are very specific ways, things that you need to do with a co-registration lead in order to get it to convert. It's not the usual kettle of fish, if you will, in terms of traffic.
Right, it's totally different. Because you do have their information, but they haven't gone to your website yet. So there's certain things you need to do to get them to go there. Although you have the opt-in, they still haven't seen your website. So it's a little different.
And one thing that I'm really hip to is, as opposed to AdWords and some of the other things that you might do online, I don't like to be up till 2 or 3 in the morning. My wife doesn't like me to be up till 2 or 3 in the morning twiddling with the AdWords campaigns, because I'm trying to get that. So I generally like to build things that are businesses and that can operate without me being there. You know, if you talk about the E-Myth and Michael Gerber and things like that, you know, working on the business instead of in the business.
I had a campaign when I very first got started. It was for actually a business opportunity that I was involved in. And I said I couldn't really get a lot of records for it. I was getting maybe around 1,000 to 2,000 a day, which still is a lot, but it's not compared to like what you can get with this. And so I got it set up. I tested it for a couple weeks, and I think I was spending a couple $100 a day, and then the profit on it was about $1,000 a day. And I literally, like, I had so many other things that we were doing, I forgot about it. Like, I knew it was going, and I knew they were like taking money out of my account and stuff, but I really didn't mess with it for like 6 months. And then finally my CPA comes back and she's like, "Man, you're making a small fortune off of this thing." I was like, "What thing?"
Oops, forgot about that.
And so I went back. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I set that thing up like 6 months ago," and I had totally forgot about it after a while because it was on autopilot. And the company that was doing it was really, really honest with me, and they just were providing really consistent quality. Mm-hmm. And I didn't mess with anything with it. I just left it there, and it was great. I mean,
was that gas money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.